All right, guys. My name is Julius Francis. I'm the former British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion, and I've just been on the podcast of "Is It Really Worth It?" Now, tune in. Make sure you do.
Welcome to Is It Really Worth It? We are at Pedro's Gym in Hackney and we are with the legend, Julius Francis.
Sean, thank you very much. I don't know about legend, but wow,
Legend. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
How's
I am
things?
good. Yeah, I can't complain. Staying healthy, happy, busy. That's it. Huh?
Lovely. Right. We want to know a bit about Julius Francis. I'm going to start at the beginning.
Oh God.
Where were you born?
I was actually born. I'm South London through and through. I was born in Peckham. Didn't grow up there, but I was born in Peckham, and then at a very young age, I moved over to Abbey Wood, so South East London.
Yeah.
Yeah, and grew up in Abbey Wood, South East London. All before the kind of things that people would know over there, Belmarsh and Thamesmead and all that. It was just Thamesmead was just coming out of the ground.
Well, it's Fields, wasn't it?
Yes, it basically was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it basically was.
Not now.
I know.
Not now.
I went over there a couple of years back for the first time in, I would say, 45 years. It was the first time I've been over there, and it brought me to tears.
Different
It did,
landscape now.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, down in Abbey Wood, education?
uh, I wouldn't say I was the best educated. I went to, there was two schools I went to as a primary schools I went to in Abbey Wood. You had DeLucy and Thomas and Becket. Thomas and Becket was the Catholic school. DeLucy was like just the normal.
I went to a Thomas and Becket.
Yeah, you went Thomas and Becket?
Northampton.
Oh, well, okay, all right. I was going to say. Wow. Yeah. So they were the two schools I went to as a kid, and then so growing up there, I had a relatively kind of, I would say, nondescript really childhood growing up in Abbey Wood. I was in Abbey Wood till I was 10. It was that place where, like I say, Thamesmead was just coming out of the ground. Um, Stage one was built, and my dad worked on. He was, like I say, he was a tower crane driver, so he worked on Thamesmead, and we used to go over there round Thamesmead Lake when it was just it weren't it was a lake, but it was a lake that didn't have no borders or anything. It was just like a big open
A free for all.
pit. Yeah, basically. Yeah. It was. And over the years, I've seen the like different plans what they had envisaged for Thamesmead. It was meant to be a port town where boats would come in and everything like this, but obviously that was never, it never came to fruition. Um, but yeah, and I did have a relatively good childhood. Obviously, as a kid, you have your ups and downs, and you kind of find your pecking order.
Brothers,
Um,
sisters?
I I I had there was four of us, so I had an older sister. Then it was myself, a younger brother, and a younger sister.
Right. So you're the oldest lad
Yeah,
in the family.
yes, I was the oldest boy. Well, that's what I was told for years. Kind of. But unfortunately, my older sister and my younger brother have both passed. Yeah. Um, so my older sister Joanne, yeah, she passed in '07, and then my younger brother Amos, he passed in 2019. September. He's actually coming up for his anniversary. It'll be his anniversary September. So yeah, that was a real big shock. You know, that was a real big shock. But yeah,
So Education was good.
Yeah, and then I went to, right then, so growing up in Abbey Wood, I lived with my mum, my siblings, and then at the age of 10, I was taken into care. So we moved from Abbey Wood, as kids, we moved from Abbey Wood to Plumstead. So we was taken into care and went into care in Plumstead. So, and then
So
that was
that was at
another,
10?
then, yeah, 10 years old, yeah, and then that was another experience, getting to meet, um, some people and friends and whatever that I still work with, still am friends with to this day. Yeah.
Brilliant. So what age did the boxing arrive?
Boxing came into my life actually quite late. I never took up boxing. I never was interested in boxing until I was 18. And that was only purely, maybe by accident, really, because, like I said, with me, I got in trouble at school. I used to fight at school, but I was never interested in boxing. That was my younger brother boxed. Amos boxed, and he went to a boxing club. Um, there was two. I think there was two that I knew about in Woolwich. So you had St Mary's Boxing Club and St Peter's Boxing Club. And my brother, I think he first went to St Mary's, but I wasn't. He went there with
Sounds
his.
like the fucking Irish estate. St Mary's.
Well, and the thing is, I've never actually been. I never actually ever found out where actually St Mary's Boxing Club was. But I knew it was St Mary's Boxing Club in Woolwich.
Yeah.
So one day when I came home from, I used to work on a building site in Bishopsgate. So I was on a building site there, worked on a building. I was 18, come out of school, didn't really have.
So you left school at 16.
Yes,
Worked straight to work.
straight into obviously it was manual labour,
So
working on building sites and
let me
stuff.
stop you for a second, Jules. So at 10 you went into care.
Yeah.
How did you feel being like separated from your parents, and how did that make you feel?
It didn't really. It wasn't something that. It was just I would say it was just a different adventure.
Right.
Honestly.
So did it affect?
There was a big effect. Yeah, there was, because and I'll be brutally honest. My dad wasn't really for me the best. I would say, I don't know how to put it. My dad was quite abusive, really. Although as much as I love him, as a child, he was actually quite abusive. So
I think
I grew up. I couldn't. So my one of my kind of things, I was dyslexic as a child, so I couldn't read. So you're growing up and you're going, right. So you go to school and do whatever you're doing, and you come home, and my dad, he would say, right, you have to do the ABC. As far as I know, they used to teach us in school to sing the ABC.
Yeah.
That's what I know. So you say ABC, so you sing the ABC song. But to point at a letter and say, what letter is this?
Not a clue.
I didn't have I don't know.
Yeah.
So and then with school, when I was in school, and they say write what's on the blackboard to do dictation, what I would see is like scribble, scribble, scribble. So that's what went in my book. Scribble, scribble, scribble.
Yeah.
That was it. So, and then you got labelled as being stupid and thick and get to the back of the class.
Yeah.
So then, and that was only in English. So I couldn't read there. But if you gave me numbers,
you're good as gold. Yeah.
Numbers, yeah, I was. I could do my numbers. I was good that way.
Counting your money.
I could anything to do with my hands,
Manual.
Yeah, like woodwork and photography and stuff like this. They're all the things that I think I excelled at them.
Yeah.
But
And enjoyed.
reading, yes, and I did enjoy them. But reading, woodwork, metalwork, and all this kind of stuff, I loved it.
Yeah.
But reading stuff, reading a book, no, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You know, I'd read a book and I'd be like, well,
Don't mean
what the fuck?
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that? You
Yeah.
know what I
Don't
mean?
mean
So,
nothing.
and so you get kind of labelled, and I did get labelled, and I enjoyed school, but you know, what they would say now, I would imagine what they would say now is they would label me and say, right, you have ADHD or
Yeah.
DDHD or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst, well, I say unbeknownst to them, but they must have known my background and history, that I was in care. My mum was very ill. We was in care. Um, you know, there was all these different aspects of my life that weren't really taken, because I was even taken out of school to put into a kind of, as they call it, special unit type thing.
Yeah. Naughty boy
Yeah,
school.
naughty boy. Yeah, naughty kid
So
school. Yeah,
you were fighting a bit at school.
yeah. I used to fight,
Yeah. Come on.
but
School's
it
not
was.
school without a fight.
I think again, and going back there to Abbey Wood at that time, there was only 4 black families in the whole of Abbey Wood. So you had 2 on the side that I lived, and then 2 on the other side of the place where we used to live, right on the green, which was about another, say, I don't know, maybe half a mile away. In 2 flats on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but you never took it as, oh, kind of like we're unusual. The only time I ever felt out of place was we had a neighbour who lived on the same landing as us. He lived in a masonette. So we had this neighbour on the same landing, and he actually, later on I found out that he was South African. We had a friend at the end of the block on our landing, a little boy who we were friends with. But if we walked past his door, he'd come out and scream at the kids, scream at us, and shout. He's a really horrible man. Um, and then later on, um, my brother actually he was in the same year as my brother in school. We went to Abbey Wood School, and he was in the same year. But there was always a bit of contention and conflict and whatever. But it was.
It got ironed out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I never actually had a fight with him. My brother had a fight with him. Kind of,
Done his work.
yeah, he did, and you know, like I say with my brother, he boxed before me, and he was actually a better boxer than me. Naturally, yeah, he was naturally a better boxer than me. I was very much. I had to learn how to box.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was very natural. I would liken my brother Amos to a Tommy Hearns type fighter. Tall, rangy, fantastic jab. Yeah, he did. He had a fantastic jab, and yeah, I'll tell you stories about it because he was comical sometimes. He used to wind me up.
That's what dogs do.
He used no, but imagine I'm in the gym and I'm moving on further. So I'm in the gym training in the amateur gym that I trained at. I'm in there religiously. I was really in there religiously.
Yeah.
And my brother would come in sometimes. He'd leave his beer at the door, come in, maybe have a warm up, jump in the ring with me, spar with me, and beat the crap out of me. Like, he's the only person.
And it just up and go home.
Yeah. That's exactly. And then leave the gym, grab his beer, and go. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he did.
The Kirkland Land.
That's how he was. That's how he was, and he was just. Amos was very, very natural.
Yeah.
A very natural. And he boxed. He boxed twice as an amateur. Yeah, he boxed twice. The first time he boxed the guy that I was meant to box. And he got beat. I'm not sure. I'm not. He got beat, but they like even my trainer said they robbed him.
Yeah. So you're both boxing at the same time at the same club.
Yeah, we boxed in the same. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. But he only had two bouts. And then the second time, I think the second time he boxed another man that I was meant to box with. Me, I think I might have actually been, I might have been away or something. I don't know because I was a bit naughty. And he boxed this other guy that I was meant to box, who was a heavyweight. My brother would have been a light heavyweight, cruiserweight if cruiserweight was around at that time. He wasn't around at that time.
Light heavy, straight to heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah, light heavy to heavy. So, and I was only when I boxed, I would have been classed as a small heavyweight. No, just on the 91 kilos.
Yeah, very small.
You know, yeah. So,
15.
no, that was 14 and a half stone. Yeah, yeah. I used to have a six pack and everything.
Good memory.
Wow, back in the day, my God. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And so he boxed the second time and he broke his hand. And then he said that was it for him. But he was good. He was actually really good. And I do kind of think to myself how if things were a little bit different, how much he would have won and done and because he was good. If he had I think if he had the same passion and love for the game as I did, and he would have made a great champion.
Yeah,
he would have done. But yeah.
So, how many amateurs did you have?
I had over 10 years. So I boxed as an amateur for 10 years.
So you started at 18.
Yeah, and I boxed, and I had over 10 years. I had 16. Only had 16 amateur boxing bouts, but also I did kickboxing.
I was just going to get to the kickboxing.
Yeah.
When did? Because I know the kickboxing was a big part of you.
No, well, boxing was actually my first love in combat sport. So, and then I started doing kung fu. Then I did taekwondo. Then I did kickboxing and went and taught kickboxing. A little bit of karate and all those, and even like later on in life, jumped in the ring and done MMA. So I did I was kind of all rounder as it were. But I was actually kickboxing. Yeah, basically that was it. Because back then, especially the early mid 80s in Woolwich, we had a big thing with the skinheads.
Yeah.
Skinheads and the BNP National Front and all this. So there was all that was going on. I did get into quite a bit of trouble with the police. So there was all of that, and it's kind of like, yes, you do fight, and I've heard people say to me, "Oh, Julius, we always knew you was going to be a fighter. We always knew you was going to be a boxer because you was always fighting." I had quite a lot of fights in school. I got suspended from school on numerous occasions.
Any nickings for fighting?
Yeah. I had. I don't think I ever got for. I don't think I ever got arrested for violence as such. Well, as such, I think the last case I got that they arrested me for. But I was innocent. I promise I was innocent. It was for ABH with intent or GBH with intent and supplying and all this kind of stuff. It was they tried to fit me up, and for that reason I was really pissed off. More than normally, because if I got nicked like that, and most of the
if
stuff
they're coming with truth,
then I'll put my hands up.
Yeah.
If
they're coming with bullshit.
Yeah, then it was like that.
Right. So
yeah,
you're busy amateur.
Not really. Like I say, I had 18. No, yeah, I think it was 16 fights over 10 years. 16 or 18 fights over 10 years.
So you're nipping in. nipping in and out of other
Yes.
disciplines.
Yes.
Right. So, did you have any
But-
kickboxing matches?
Yes. But the thing as well, because I also I got stabbed, so I was out of the gym for a while. I was in prison, done YC. It was youth custody then, not Ballstall.
Yeah.
So there was gaps. There was gaps in all that.
Yeah.
10 years as well.
Yeah.
And then I think I can't remember. I think I was training. I was doing bits and pieces, but again, I also played rugby and I played football for their pub team. So I was very much
Very
into.
athletic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. I've done a lots of different sports. And that was again to try and stay away from trouble.
Yeah.
But also because I was fit and people saw me, oh yeah, you can do this. And that. Turn me and do it. You know what I mean? I was like, have a go. And I loved rugby. I loved playing rugby. I did.
Yeah.
I really loved playing rugby. Yeah. I had my best mate, John Williams. And he actually got me into playing rugby, and he got me into doing kung fu as well. It was yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah, it was I did all
Not
these
on the
different.
rugby pitch, though.
So I did all these different sports. One day doing this, one day doing that, one day doing taekwondo, one day doing kung fu, one day doing boxing, or a couple of days doing boxing. Actually played the sports at the weekend, played rugby on a Saturday, and played football, Sunday football. Yeah. And it was just continuation. That's what I did.
So, was the fighting when you were playing rugby and the football? Were you still in the boxing?
I was still yeah. So I when I was I can't remember with my trainer, my amateur boxing trainer. His name was Pat Dempster, and obviously later on in life when I turned pro, he knew of the Maloney's because I went pro with Frank Maloney, yeah. So he introduced me to them.
So, at what point did you go pro? How old were you when you went pro?
28.
That's old.
Well, it was. I would say sometimes when I look back on it, I go 28, but I didn't feel 28.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's maybe because of maybe a bit of my young mind that I never looked on the age. The only time I ever looked on my age as being an issue, I had another mate of mine, Warren Richards, who boxed. He actually boxed out of Elton, but he was a pro with Frank. And I think when I came out of Nick, and I was going, he was a pro, and he was training up at the Thomas Beckett. So I used to go up there and train with him. Every now and again, go up there and train, watch him training, whatever. And there was a trainer, I can't remember his name, the trainer up there, and I was just up there, and I was just punch a bag and whatever. And he asked me, and I remember him asking me, he said, and I was 26 at the time. And he said to me, how old are you? I was like 26. And obviously, Tyson was the big name. Mike Tyson was the big name. So he was doing his thing. And he said to me, oh, well, if you don't turn pro now, you're never going to make it. All right, how old are you? I said, I'm 26, 27, whatever. He said, oh, if you don't turn pro now, you're never gonna be able to do anything.
So the seed's been planted.
Yeah, but it never occurred to me to say, oh, well, it's too late. I never ever thought of it that way. I just thought, well, and then it got me thinking, because I didn't know about.
When is too late?
Yes, that was it. And I didn't know about, I had no idea of the process you had to do, or whatever the road you had to take to become a professional fighter.
Yeah.
Never, so even though I was amateur boxing, I was still around the amateur boxing. And so 1990, so 89 I come out of Nick. 1990 I started doing kickboxing, but I was also amateur boxing. So
What
um,
league did you come out of?
I was in a few of them because they obviously they moved me around.
Still fighting in the jail.
No, I was training. I never had no. I, f- I only had the only time I had a fight in prison really was when I was in YC.
Yeah.
I was down at Rochester. It was Rochester,
Yeah.
yeah, it was Rochester. Youth custody, whatever it was. And I had one fight, and it was kind of like, again, it was only like,
Over very quick.
yeah, yeah, it
Love
was
this.
over, over, over table tennis. But it was more than that because what had happened, obviously, we'd gone out to go and do the works and whatever, and then you come back after work, and I'm covering shit, and I was on the brick, making bricks.
Yeah.
We're covered in funny sand, it's cement and whatever. So I come back, and there ain't no showers. No fucking showers. So you have to have
Game of table tennis.
no, so you have to have a
Sink
bowl
wash.
wash.
Yeah.
No, you have to bowl wash yourself. I was pissed off about that because I wanted a fucking shower. You know what I mean? So I'm just annoyed about that. Not annoyed with anybody, but annoyed about that. I can't have a fucking shower.
Yeah.
And then it was a case of you come down, you say, right, who's playing next, whatever. And then, and I know that I've said whatever, and then the guy ended up coming from, he was actually from the Old Kent Road, Elephant Castle. Yeah, that's where he lived in Elephant Castle. And the guys have played, I'm coming, right, so it's my turn now. So I pick up the table tennis. And he's kind of stays in front of me, and he ain't it's me next. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What? He's done. Done. And he's all like,
I'm definitely playing there.
yes. Obviously, the schools are like, normally what would happen,
You're
and they
rushed.
did, they rush you and bend you up and whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. No, because, and again, I was gym orderly as well when I was in there. So I was in good shape.
Yeah.
So,
And obviously respected.
yeah, I think, well, yeah, maybe I was, but I never because when I was there, so I was there like 19, 19, nearly 20. So, but you don't look on it at that time. You don't look on it as though you're getting respect from any of your peers,
Yeah.
which are the older men and the SOs on the wing and all this. But maybe with your peer group that you're in with,
Yeah.
they see you as a big guy, blah blah blah. You know you can handle yourself, and you're in that pecking. You know your pecking order.
Yeah.
Um, but it never really occurred to me that those people were looking at me as though that I commanded respect, and I never knew that as well until later on that you find out things about yourself as well.
Yeah.
And I think
Definitely.
boxing really helped me later on um, to be able to understand that and channel that.
Yeah.
You know?
So boxing and contact sports in general
Yes. Yeah.
have given you your escape really from
Oh yeah,
from a
yeah.
criminal lifestyle.
I think so. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
But I'm not saying I had a lot of friends that were you could class them as criminals. At the time, we're not criminals. We're just trying to make a living. We're
Trying
just
to
trying
hustle
to
through life.
yeah, that's what we're doing because we were on the block, hustling, doing our things. Yeah, I do laugh, and I will laugh because I got some good memories of us up in Barnfield. So it's
Yeah.
Barnfield got up on Barnfield and Brunson Common. Um, so you'd have maybe one of them vans driving in with washing machines and
Yeah.
cooking and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
as
White
soon as,
goods.
yeah, all the way, and
They're mine.
they get scuffed and people driving up, coming up, apart from God knows what. Yeah, they just get. It was kind of. Sometimes it was a free fall. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah,
A learning curve.
Yeah, it was.
But boxing has given you
Yeah.
your outlet from
Yes,
that.
definitely. Yeah. I think fighting in general took me away from the horrible things that happened to me when I was younger, and it was like at school. I got bullied at school. Not just so I got bullied at school because we were black.
Yeah.
Then I got bullied at school because I really wouldn't take if you like some of the bigger kids and whatever. You had a go at me like because I didn't wear the nicest clothes or nicest shirt or whatever. I'd mouth off there. You know what I mean? And I was like that. And there were times where I was bullied and beaten up and whatever. And even the teachers kind of used to turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
So
Back then.
yeah. So it was kind of there was resentment and the fact that again going back to my dad was that I wanted to, but I didn't want to get hurt. I was one of the things as I got older was I found this thing that made me strong, that made me you can't fucking hurt me no more.
Yeah.
You know, and it was that way. That was one of my things that I was bullied in school, and then I bullied. So and I put my hands up and say I was wrong, but you kind of as you grow older and get older, you learn why you're doing these things and the process, and you can make things happen.
You can break it all down. Then,
yes,
you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly, and then you can, and even um, making things happen without actually being physical.
Yeah,
And and again, my best friend John, he taught me so much about life.
yeah.
Taught me so much about life, and even my boxing. He said to me, we actually watched Mike Tyson in '86 win the world heavyweight title. I watched the fight in his flat up on Martin, and I was just
A few years
a
back.
few years in the boxing, yeah. And he said to me, Julius, you could fucking beat that guy, you could beat him. And I was like, I said, never. No way. I said, that's Mike Tyson. You know, and you go yourself, like you say, it's impossible. It's absolute impossible. You couldn't dream of that. But then years and years later,
Be careful what you wish for.
I'm actually standing in the ring fighting this man.
Yeah.
I didn't beat him, but hey,
You got through them fucking ropes, though.
yeah.
You went through them
But
ropes.
again, when I think about just sitting there in his place and him saying that, and then me going, I hadn't won anything as an amateur. Obviously, I didn't even know if I was ever going to be a professional fighter.
Wow.
And then I've got all these other things that happened to me. When I came out of Nick in '89, you know,
Yeah.
and that's 3 years after Tyson's won the title.
Yeah. So he's rampaging.
He's doing everything he's doing, and I've just come out of Nick. So, and then to say to somebody, right, now, this is my story. In years to come, I'm going to fight that guy. And they look at me and
Are you crazy?
exactly. If I put a pound on myself and say, yeah, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to do it now.
Yeah.
So,
Here's a little one. I said to myself at school, primary school, and I've got a witness for this, called Tom Donnelly.
yeah.
And I'm going to beat Muhammad Ali when I grow up. Shut up, you fool. I was his bodyguard at 212 Olympics.
Yeah.
Get your head round that.
See, this is...
You can manifest it.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and God's an amazing God.
And the thing with boxing, you know, we go... Even with my career as a fighter, I have my early fights, and the first person I lose against was John Ruiz, who went on to win
world
and
title.
become world champion. So then you go, wow, where am I going with this? So and at that time, honestly, I remember my world crumbled.
Yeah.
So I was concerned, my world had crumbled.
So
It was-
hold on. So you've turned pro at 28.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many pro fights till you hit John Lewis?
John Ruiz was my 7th pro fight.
Yeah, it's before 10.
Yeah, it was my 7th. So, and unbeknownst to me,
So you're in good company. Very
early.
early.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. So he, unbeknownst to me, he was already like, he was on the cusp of actually coming into the
title
forefront of
fight.
fighting world title. I didn't know anything about him. He was just as far as, and I remember I was in the gym. Here's another story, which is crazy. I was in the gym over in Greenwich. There was a gym used to be above Iceland in Greenwich. So I'm in the gym and I used to go there just to do a little bit of weights. Not it wasn't a boxing gym, it was like weights,
Yeah.
weights and whatever. And Lenny McLean's in there. So Lenny like this. Oh, like, you know, like
Big old
growler, you know what I mean? But oh, fucking hell. Feels where I'm trying to Lenny now.
Work with me, I'm gonna bend the bar.
So yeah, that's what he was like. He was a proper growler. But he was cool.
Yeah.
Lenny was cool. And he was talking to me like, and he knew I was a pro fighter, and he was saying to me, "Oh, they're fucking Americans, you know, they ain't gonna, it's not gonna give you any hard fights. It's these Americans and whatever. They're bringing them over for you and beat them." So, but in my head, I'm not thinking like, oh, it's gonna be easy. But I'm there, and I'm taking in what Lenny's saying because obviously he's the big man on the block. And he said to me, and I remember him saying to me about they're not gonna have anybody coming over here that's going to beat you,
Yeah.
right? But and I didn't go, all right, now I'm going to train in less hard or whatever. But it always stayed with me and resonated with me. So, and another thing that my trainer used to say to me, any man that stands in the opposite corners of you is a potential world champion.
Yeah.
He's a potential world champion. So
that's a credit to how talented you were, though, Julius. Do you know what I mean?
I was gutted. I was absolutely gutted that I lost because he cracked two of my ribs. And that's how he stopped me and he cracked two of my ribs. Stopped me after in the 4th round. I was gutted up in Bristol. I was gutted, and that was my first loss. But I was boxing and I was working
Loss
at the same time.
Loss or lesson?
It was a lesson. This what it was. It was a lesson. So I said, right. And I came back and I said, right now, what do I want to do? Do I want boxing as a hobby, or do I want it as my career? Do I because I remember saying what I said to Dean Powell, my first trainer.
Brilliant.
And
God rest his soul.
Yeah, God rest his soul. Yeah. And I remember we was up at the Beckett, and this was before I had my first bout. And there was a couple of other young heavyweight, young pros, guys that just turned pro. And I remember him asking, so what do you want to get out? Like asking the group of us, like, what do you want to get out of boxing?
What do you want from it?
Yeah. And guys were saying, oh, one guy said he wanted to make a lot of money and a house and a car and this and the other. Another guy said he wants to be a millionaire. I want to be British champion. That's all I said. I wanted to be British champion because I wasn't able to be national champion as an amateur.
Yeah.
Because as an amateur, I got slung out the ABAs.
Right. Okay.
So
we're gonna go for that.
Yeah.
British.
So I wanted to be British champion. So that was my goal, to be British champion. I didn't know who was British champion at the time. I didn't care, but I just said that that's why I want to be British champion. And then like obviously going back to having this first loss, and I said after I had that loss, it was a case of saying, right, is it a hobby or is it my career? Do I want this? Yeah. So I was working. I had a job and doing bits and pieces. And I said, no, I was going to want it. It's my life. Right?
Yeah.
It's what I want.
It's your passion as well.
So I stopped working. I had a flat. I had a little flat down on Marion Grove. Marion Grove, just on Cheltenham down there. And I said, right now. So I didn't know how I was going to get paid. where I was going to get money from, whatever. So this is the mad thing. So I was signing on now. So I used to box. Maybe I'd box on a Saturday night, it was on, like Wire TV or them cable,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
cable
When
channels
it
back
first
in the
come
day.
out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I'd box on a Saturday night and then go and sign on a Monday. And then people would go, yeah, Julius, I saw you on TV boxing the other day. I'd be like, oh,
Shut
up,
up.
shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What, me?
Yeah,
What
well,
are you
yeah,
talking
that's how it was. Yeah, I kind of it just kind of went on from there. And I did have some losses. I had other losses apart from that.
Lessons.
But yeah, and again,
You never call them
lessons. No,
losses.
right, yeah, they are lessons. And it was this thing where I said, right, yeah, and I had to move horrible and hard with myself.
Yeah.
You have to make these
Sacrifice.
sacrifices, yeah.
Yeah.
And when I talk to young people now about boxing and saying about being in that place where it's very uncomfortable, because when you're very uncomfortable, you get the best out of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That
So
comfort zone.
yeah,
Lovely
yeah,
corner of the garden,
yes,
but
exactly.
nothing grows there.
And I think, oh yeah, it's true.
It's
That's
just
it.
weeds.
Yeah.
It's barren.
Yeah, it's barren.
Yeah.
So when you're uncomfortable, is when you get the best out of yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
So we're bobbing along in our pro career. British?
When I won the British title, I had to go to Ireland. I thought Gary Delaney, he's half Irish.
I know Gary
So
very well.
you know Gary, right?
I know Gary very well.
So Gary, I met Gary before actually. So in '92, I was thinking about turning pro in '92. So I went over to Romford, right? They was training over at Romford, right? So walked in the gym over in Romford. There was Gary. Gary was light heavyweight. Scott Welch had just turned over. Herbie Hyde was kind of the name on everybody's lips.
Good fight.
There was a guy. His name was Graham Arnold. Arnold. He was I think from King's Lynn, Norwich way. He actually became my first pro fight. I met him he was my first pro fight. So walking in the gym, it was Freddie. It was Freddie King. Yeah, Freddie King was the trainer. He was Herbie's trainer.
Yeah.
So I went over there, and I was actually wanting to go and turn pro with Barry Hearn. Right, that's why I went over there. Yeah. Naturally, and I didn't necessarily go Herbie Eyes over there, so I want to go. But I just thought, but that's the name is on everybody's lips.
Talking about him there.
So I went over there and trained. So I was over there training and sparring for about a month or so, for 6 weeks.
Because back then, Herbie Hyde was the Deontay Wilder.
Yes.
It's what people forget about Herbie Hyde. Right. He was the banger back then, weren't he?
But the thing with Herbie, what was funny with Herbie, he had that bad start. Yeah, really bad start. But when he got in the ring, and he didn't take no prisoners. He never took any prisoners. And
he didn't have a stutter.
He didn't have no. He didn't. People would say that he was he took liberties, but I don't think he took liberties. I just think he fought, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing about Herbie, but he fought as a scared fighter. So he didn't want to get hurt. He didn't want to get hit. Didn't want to get hurt. And I saw him go in there and work with the guys and beat them up. But my mentality at that time when I was coming in, because I was this young amateur trying to make his name. So when I sparred with Herbie, we used to go at it. We used to go at it. And then Herbie would say,
you pay to watch.
That's and Herbie and Herbie would always say, because he's sparred a few times over the years, and he would always say, he's a guy who never step back. He don't take any business. He never look like he would always give me praise.
Yeah.
You know? And then I was gutted actually. I was gutted because he fought when he lost against
Vitali.
Vitali. Yeah, so we boxed on the same show. That was at the. It was over in
96.
Was it 96? He might. I can't remember. But he lost the title.
Yeah.
That's when he lost the title
He got
against.
trounced.
He lost the title against Vitali, and I'd already fought Vitali by. I thought it was later than that.
Yeah, you'd fought him after.
I thought it was like no. I fought Vitali before he became champion.
Oh, so you fought him before
He became champion. Yeah.
Because he won.
No. Herbie fought him in. Herbie fought in 99. Herbie lost against him in 99 because we boxed. It was the same show because I boxed Scott Welch on the same show, 99 over at the London Arena.
That's right.
Yeah, it was London Arena. Yeah, it was London Arena. So we looked. Yeah, and then 99. So I'd fought. Yeah, so he lost anyway, but he lost the title. And I fought.
I remember watching it.
I fought Vitali either 98 or 97. No, I think it was 98. I might have fought him. Yeah. So.
And how was that Klitschko fight?
He was a beast. And then
a beast, wasn't he?
Story about that fight. Went to Germany fighting. I'm on the card fighting Vladimir. Vladimir's the one on the poster. Vitali's one to get in the ring.
You joking?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but again, with me, it weren't a case of, oh, fucking hell, that's not him, that's it.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck. Yeah. I didn't care because I just wanted to fight. And I didn't care how big, small, whatever. I was just, I just thought, yeah. So I didn't care. I wasn't worried. But, no, I think we've got a really different routes. But yeah, when I walked in with, coming over to Matchroom, sparred with Herbie, sparred with Gary. Gary Delaney I hated sparring Gary. Of all the guys I sparred with over there, I hated sparring with Gary because Gary had a wicked left hook to the body and to the head. And I didn't know how to protect myself against body shots, really. And because I was an amateur anyway, still. And he had that wicked left hook to the body, wicked left hook to the head, you know? And he would catch me with that regular.
He's undoing really at the end of it all, wasn't it?
And then obviously later on in years, roughly is going to be 5 years. Yeah, 5 years later, really. Would have been 5 years later because we fought for the British title in 97. That's when I won it in 97.
Yeah.
So we went. I was over in. Yeah, it was Belfast. Yeah, it was at the King's Hall in Belfast. Yeah, King's Hall in Belfast. It's like
fantastic.
Yes, and to me, the King's Hall is like local. Yeah. Such a great atmosphere.
It's unbelievable.
Wicked atmosphere. But again, I'm fighting Gary. I know I've got this fight with Gary. And I'm still when we was there, I was with my trainer Mark Rowe, and the afternoon before the fight, so we go for a walk, and I know all the training's done, and I'm confident in myself that my training has gone well because it had. And there's always this niggling thing in the back of your eye, and I said to Mark, Mark, what if it don't go right? What happens if it don't? What happens if I don't win? What happens if I don't win? And he said, it's like, it's not. But I just wanted to, I kind of, in some ways, I wanted maybe some kind of reassurance.
Yeah.
Because maybe, I don't know if everybody has this, but you always have this little bit of niggling down. Yeah.
If a fighter says he ain't, he's a liar.
Yeah. So when we had the fight, and I suppose I was winning the fight quite comfortably as far as I was concerned. But again, Gary was moving up in weight. Gary was moving up. He moved up to heavyweight. I think he moved up from heavyweight from cruiser.
Yeah.
He might have light heavy because he fought. I know he did fight at cruiserweight. I think he fought a world title at cruiserweight. I'm not sure He went over when he went over to Canada. He might have fought at cruiserweight, or he might have fought at light heavy, but he was up at cruiser,
Yeah.
and then obviously, but Gary was actually they said in the boxing news that he was the favourite for the fight to win the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I might have had a couple of losses up to that point. I might have had a couple of losses. I know I had a points loss, and I know I had the loss against Reeves. I lost against actually lost against points loss against Michael Murray. I think maybe it might have been Michael Murray 2 fights, 1 fight before the Delaney fight. Yeah, they gave me a loss on my home show. That's pissed. Yeah, half a point. They gave me yes, they gave when they were doing the half points. They gave me half a point.
On
Yeah,
a home show.
on a home show. Yeah, half a point.
Was betting? What was it? 8 rounder, 10 rounder?
10. I think it was a 10 rounder. I think it was a 10 rounder. Yeah, I think it was a 10 rounder. And I tell you, it was a referee. I never really got on with him. And I know he's a good referee. Mickey Van. Yeah, it was Mickey Van.
Good ref. Yeah.
He is a good ref, but I just felt he, for some reason, didn't like me. But maybe it is what it is, you know. But I'm not sure how many times he refereed my fights. I'm not sure. He might have refereed me 1 or 2 different other times. But yeah, for that fight, I was so pissed. I was so give it to him by half a point. I used to do half point rounds. Yeah, I was pissed.
So with the boxing and that, Jules, you get a phone call to fight Mike Tyson.
Well, look, the lead up to that was I'd fought Pele Reed.
Yeah.
I fought Pele Reed
because Pele was the next big
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was it was strange to me that they saw Pele as the next big thing, because I'd won the British title in '97, but I hadn't defended it. I hadn't defended it up until
And he wasn't
99.
from boxing stock.
No, but another story about Pele. I'm kickboxing now. When I was kickboxing, I became European champion. Yes, he was from the kickboxing background.
Yeah.
So, and this pissed me off. I'm from kickboxing. I'm doing kickboxing. I become European champion. There was the magazine Combat.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
Big magazine.
It's still out on it.
And it's still out. And I've won a European title. I'm going there to WH Smith's to go and get my Combat magazine, because
front page.
I want to see, yeah. Who's on the front cover?
Pele Reed.
Pele Reed. I was so fucking pissed. And then when I look for what's Julius Francis, I get a little thing like this, a little fucking in some one of the inner pages somewhere. But obviously I don't know. Later on in life, but and then obviously later on in life, I'm boxing. He becomes a boxer, and I never went into the fight thinking I'm going to get my own back on you. I just went into the fight knowing that I felt that he was not in my league.
Yeah.
You know, I felt that's how I felt as being champion.
You knew you were a better fighter.
Yes. And it weren't the fact that, and in fairness to Pele, 13 fights, 13 wins, 13 KOs up to that point.
He's never gone past.
No, his longest fight I think was 6 rounds.
6 rounds, yeah.
And I think in that fight he went 6 rounds. The guy he got clipped by the guy,
and he had problems. Yes.
He wobbled a bit. And that's the only part of any fights of Pele that I watched was him getting clipped.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the York Hall, because the fight was at the York Hall, and speaking to Mark Rose, my trainer for that again. And I said to Mark, and I never ever said this about any other fighters or any fights I'd ever been involved in. I said, Mark, I'm going to knock him out.
Knock his kid out.
I said, Mark, and he was maybe an hour or two before the fight. I said, Mark, I'm going to knock him out. And I never ever said this about any fights I'd ever had. You know, and I watched a small clip of Pele, and you know, and maybe it was on video. I know it was on video. Um, I never said it about any other fighters.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's accuracy.
when I ever talked about fighters, I said yes, he's a good fighter or whatever.
Very respectful.
Yeah, and I was respectful. I never ever said, but I never said it. I never voiced that to the public. It
Yeah.
wasn't a thing that was out in the
Just
public.
between you and
It
your
was just
trainer.
between me and Mark. Yeah, and I just said like we was at the back of the old call in the corridors at the back of the old call. I said, Mark, I'm knocking him out. And the thing with Pele, obviously, he done the stretches and the kicks and whatever, and he was awfully strong. He was fucking mad strong. And I remember Pele hit me in the first round. He came with he hit me with a right, I think it was a right uppercut. Yeah, it was a right uppercut. And I promise you, all I saw was birds and stars.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I inspired. Fucking hell.
It's only the first round.
Oh my God. Yeah, he could punch. He could fucking punch.
But you did your work.
But yeah, and it was, you know, the sad thing leading up to that fight. That fight was, I think it was April. I think it was April '99. I think was it April, January? No, March. I think it was, no, it wasn't. Actually, it was February 29th. It was a year. It was a year to the day to Tyson. Well, yeah, it was a year to the day to the Tyson fight.
Yeah.
That fight. Yeah. January 29th, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a year to January 20. It was. But it was on. But it was a year to the day to the time. From that day to the Tyson fight was a year.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you went through.
So I fought
Beat
Pele,
Pele.
then I fought Danny Williams.
Yeah.
Leading up to that fight, Danny had pulled out of
Great fight.
the Pele Reed fight because Pele had taken Danny's fight because he got cut.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. Again, with Danny, me and Danny sparred hundreds and hundreds of rounds.
Great fighter.
He was tough. Danny was tough. And we had loads of spars in the Peacock. And people would say, oh, Danny will always get the better of Julius. But I had it in my head that maybe one day we might fight.
Yeah.
So I never ever gave everything.
Full on. Yeah.
I would always go in there and I knew, and by then, I think I'd learned so much about this because going further back, when I turned pro, I had a couple of fights over here. I had two fights over here, and then Frank said to me, right, pack your bags and go to America. So I went to in Camp Lennox, went over to Washington. Yeah, I was 9 weeks in Washington with Lennox. Yeah, so just chucked into a big camp. Right in the very early, the embryonic stage of my career as a pro. So, and it's a steep learning curve. It was a real steep learning curve.
What a learning curve,
yeah,
mate.
And it was because, you know, like when you think about it, right? And when I think about it now, you go right now. I'm going into camp. Lennox is the first iteration of he's world champion.
Yeah, very established.
The guys in America, they're going. All I would hear in the gym. You English fighters, man. You English heavyweights are lay down fighters, man. You English fighters are lay down fighters. And I was like, really like that. So they always end up on the back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? Yeah, really? Okay.
Watch this.
So we trained, we was at college, a place called College Park. So we was on their campus. So it's college campus. Yeah. But they have everything. Yeah. When I say they have everything. You name it, they've got it there. Yeah. All right. But I had an 18-hole golf course on site. So we used to run around the golf course. So we'd either run the golf course or we'd run the stadium, the football stadium, stairs in the football stadium. I made it my mission to never come lower than third, come first, second, or third. Never came lower than that. So you had, and at that time there, Lennox would go and run on his own,
Yeah.
but all the sparring guys, they'd all run together.
Compete.
Yeah. So that was my mission, never to come like lower than third. So it was for me, I was showing that I had balls.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm in here. For you
Not
guys.
just here to take
No,
part.
I'm not. That's right. So, and I sparred with Lennox, and Lennox was a good. He was like Lennox was the king.
He was the man.
Yeah, I mean, he was the man. So, and getting in with Lennox at that time, and I'm going fucking hell. I'm in the ring with a world champion, and it's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
It is, and to see the levels
Yeah.
where I am and where Lennox is, yes,
the levels.
and as well, Lennox used to spar at the time. He used to spar in these big, either 20 ounce or 22 ounce gloves. You know, so you weren't even really feeling the full power. I mean, you weren't really, yeah.
But I bet that
So he
was
said,
good.
yeah, and I was raw. Still, I was raw, but I got to spar with one of a guy that obviously fought and went on to fight for a world title. He fought. He had Andrew Galata was in the
Yeah.
gym. Spar with Galata. Galata at that time didn't speak no English. He had an old boy. He had his trainer. He had his trainer with him. And his trainer was like an old shit because he was from Chicago. So he was one of them old growlers.
East
Old
Coast.
growler, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was exactly like the old boy in Rocky. Yeah, he was like that. He was like that. But he was such a gentle, not really gentle, nice guy.
Yeah.
And Galata didn't speak no English really. Yes, no, yeah. And he always spit.
Yeah.
Everywhere he went. But I sparred with Galata, immensely strong. When I tell you he was strong. And then you had the guy that he fought both the Klitschko's and he beat Vitali. What's his name? Oh shit, what's his name? Oh, big black guy who used to play American football. He played American football. Oh God, what's his name?
Beat Vitali.
He beat Vitali. Yeah, he beat Vitali, and yeah. Oh, what's his name? Oh my God, I can't remember his name. Right on the tip of my tongue. But he beat Vitali for the
American
and then
footballer.
I think Vladimir. No, he beat Vladimir.
Vlad and Vitali
And
battered
then
him.
Vladimir,
What's his name? I've got him
Ross
now.
Fury.
That's it.
Ross Fury.
Yeah.
He was in, and again, Ross came from American football.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think the only person I could liken him to as far as physical strength was Frank Bruno, because I sparred with Bruno as well back in the day as well. Ross was, oh mate, he could. He was so strong. He was like as hard as a wall. He's solid, and he could bang, he could punch. Yeah, but he's just a big lump. You know what I mean? And there was a couple of guys. I remember. I can't remember all the names of them, but there was another guy, Al something. I can't remember. But some good guys. I worked with out there. We was training at Sugar Ray Leonard's place when we was
Yeah.
in Washington. Yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard's. Yeah, he never came in, unfortunately. And at the time, Lennox had Pepe Carrera was his trainer. Yeah, before he went to Manny. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
So, but Pepe, I didn't think. Looking back on it now, and now I've been able to understand actually the game of boxing. Lennox was already so far advanced.
Yeah, he was up there.
Yeah,
They didn't
and
really have to do a lot
he
with
didn't
Lennox.
have to do a lot. Yeah, he didn't really have to do. I think Lennox learned so much more with Manny. Yeah. Manny was obviously
Manny was levels. He was
this proper scientist. You know what I mean?
and what a lovely guy.
Oh mate,
what a tough of a
so
guy.
I'm fortunate that I've been able to meet people like him. I've over the years of being in this game, I've met some wonderful people, and then meeting some of the biggest names in the game. You know, so
They're the nicest people.
yeah, and the humble, some of the most humble people. You know what I mean,
so you've done your camp over in America.
yeah, it was over there a couple of times, but it was good. I'll tell you why it was good, because I was when I was over there, they did things a little bit different. It was I don't know if I could put my finger on it and say it was this certain thing, but it was so much more relaxed. In a way, it was so much more relaxed, and I don't know. They let your personality come out. They would let your personality come out more. That's how it felt to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I really did enjoy. I enjoyed being over there because the guys are funny. We had laughs and jokes and whatever. I mean, but it was good. It was a good time.
Quality learning.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. 100%.
So you get the phone call to fight Tyson. How did that feel?
You know what's the strange thing about that is I had the fight with Pele, had the fight with Danny, had the fight with Scott Welsh.
Yeah.
Right, so now I'm actually getting ready to fight. I was gonna have a fight in November against another guy that I'd boxed as an amateur, Harry Senior.
Yeah.
Right. So Harry Senior, a little story about Harry. Harry Senior, and again, with Harry, he was a great guy. And very unfortunate about what happened to him. You know, the circumstances of him actually having to finish boxing and whatever was sad, you know what I mean? But he was a great guy because he lived Cholton, I lived Woolwich.
Neighbours.
So yeah. So whenever there was this thing, like with our mates, we played football. Harry's on the Cholton side, I'm on the Woolwich side, we played football. If they like they go, hang on, what's gonna happen if them two don't get the tackle? You know what I mean? So Harry would come there, I'd be there.
Them two
That's how we no. But we never fight. But then we box as amateurs. So Harry the first fight we fought as amateurs was 1990. I think it was 1990. He won. I thought I won, but they gave it to him.
Yeah.
The second time was not. That was 1991 season. 91-92 season. We fought again. I won, but I thought he won. And then
he thought he won.
Yeah, and then I think
Amateur boxing.
Amateur boxing weird. And then 93, I went on to and I won the London. I went on to win the Londons, and I fought All Harrison in the London final, beat Audley. But then I got so early because I'm licensed. I'm going to be unlicensed.
Yeah, because back
then I had to turn. Then I had to turn pro.
Yeah.
So it was in a way it was a blessing. But and the only reason I boxed on the unlicensed because I had at the time I think I had it might have been my second or third kid.
You want a few quid in your pocket?
No, yes, I was just. Yeah. I wasn't even earning that much, man. I stopped doing all the madness really. So I was trying to do it properly.
Yeah.
You know. But and then when Frank had come to me and just went, well, like it was because obviously Tyson had the fights with Holyfield, then 2 fights with Holyfield, and lost. Lost them. Then he'd been banned from boxing.
Yeah.
So then he came back and he had a fight with, I think he had the fight with Orly Norris, and that was a bit controversial. I didn't think so, but and then so I was actually getting ready to fight Harry. Have you seen that? They said I was going to defend the title again, the British title again. And then they went. Frank came to me and I think he actually came to my house. He came to my house and said, "But there's a possibility that you could fight Mike Tyson. Would you fight Mike?" Yeah, of course I would. It weren't a case of Oh, how much money they offering me?
Yeah. No, just give me the fight.
It was like, fucking hell. My name has been mentioned with this man,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Give me that
and
fight.
again, for me, it was I watched. He had the fight. Sorry, tell a lie. He had the fight with Franz Bofer. He had the fight with Franz Bofer, and it was a very controversial. But
Yeah.
obviously, he
Yeah.
tried to break his arm or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but to me, he looked vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, he didn't look. He weren't the same Tyson. You know, he didn't look the same Tyson in that fight. I'm going great guns. I'm top of the tree as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why would I never? Why would I let one to fight? You know? Um,
Buzz.
yeah, and again, my second youngest daughter, she was actually getting ready to be born. So I think they might have announced the fight maybe just after or maybe just before she was born. That I was going. So for me, it was like my daughter was born. I had maybe a couple of weeks with her, then I went into camp. You know.
Yeah.
So and it worked, and I remember saying to her mum, and even so, maybe I did say it to her mum, or maybe just said it in my own head that I have to be very selfish. You know, and as
You have
much as
to
I
be. Yeah.
as
You
much
got
as
to
I
be.
wanted to be around my daughter, this was my great opportunity. If
It's
I
your
won
job.
this, yeah, it's that as well. Yes, it's my job. Yes, but also if I were to win that fight, then my life changes
Oh.
forever and ever. Amen. You know what I mean? It's kind of like but I never looked at it as like, wow, right now I'm gonna earn $1 million because it never occurred to me to think, oh, right, and how much money am I gonna get?
Yeah.
You
Nah,
know,
just give me the
I
fight.
wasn't interested in that. I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
You
Give
know, I
me
wouldn't.
the fight.
Yeah, because again,
It's
how
not the
many?
purse, it's the opportunities
Yes,
that
yeah,
can
yeah.
open.
What comes from? If I this guy Mike Tyson, if I beat him, my kind of a prophecy is fulfilled
Yeah.
in a way.
And it's a different Mike Tyson from back when you
From
were
back,
sitting with your
that's right.
pal and your
Yes,
pal saying you can
yeah,
beat him
yeah.
because he was invincible then.
Because back then that guy there he was
Invincible.
invincible. He was.
Now we've
Now
seen him be beat
and
twice.
and again for me, how I looked at it was I'd fought guys who were punchers.
Yeah.
I'd fought guys who were boxers. I'd
Pele.
been
Yeah.
I'd been hit by big punchers that like Vitaly and them. So why not? Why am I worried about? And I did literally. I was like, why am I worried about this guy? Because he's the next person in my in my path.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is not being disrespectful, but you are the next opponent.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
next
Yeah. Yeah.
opponent.
Yeah. And that's how it should
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
When you're on job and on your game,
That's right.
you're
Yeah.
just my next
And
opponent.
again, that's what I was. I had Pele, number one contender. Kenny, number one contender. Scott, number one contender. Scott Welsh, number one contender.
Yeah. Done 'em
So
all.
yeah, and I beat him.
Yeah.
So why not do this guy?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of like it was that thinking,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, and it wasn't. And like I say, not being disrespectful, but we when we spoke about it, when me and Martin speak about it, he's got two arms, got two legs, and he feels
I
a
love
pinch
that.
and a punch the same way you do.
Yeah, yeah. I love that.
So yeah,
Two arms. That's all I
yeah,
used to do when I was pro. Two
yeah,
arms, two legs, just throw me.
that's it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like my thinking. And we trained, we went down to Aldershot. So I was in Aldershot Army
Barracks.
Base, yeah, at the Army Barracks down there. And again, the facilities down there was very sparse and very um, basic, but that's for me.
It's your
I was more
mental strength.
comfortable
Yeah.
in that. And yes, we can, and as they do now, they go into all these different camps and She's got sparkly wallpaper and all this. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Flashing
was never
lights.
built like that. I kind of even when I remember even when I was an amateur, not an amateur fighter, when I was just turned pro, and the old boys that used to be around boxing,
Yeah.
and they were the old time fighters.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there was one particular guy in particular, one guy in particular, this old boy Colombo. I don't know if people would know him and remember him, but he was always around the boxing scene, and he fought in like wherever combat sport there was, he'd actually done it. You know what I mean? And he weren't young, he weren't a young fella, but he was one of them guys that he loved fighting, he loved boxing, and he loved being around fighters,
Yeah.
and he wanted to give that information that he had and that he occurred that got over the years. He wanted to give it away and give it to people,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
and you know he'd come in there. I remember being in the gym at the Becky one day, and we were training or whatever. I don't know whatever I was doing, and he just come to and show me this exercise. He said, right now, touch your toes and stand up and push your stomach muscles out. Boom, and I'm doing this. And then hit me with a stick with a medicine ball. Touch your toes, oh, no. And I was like, and just these crazy little things like this.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, and going back, because these are the things that the fighters in the 50s were doing.
Yeah.
And then those guys was thinking about the fighters in the 30s, 20 years before them.
Yeah.
And the ones in, so it's going kind of back to the old school.
So you
way.
nicked the knowledge back to 78 years.
Yes, yeah. So, and it was really, and it's kind of, it's always fascinated me, that kind of stuff. And I like the way and yes, it's nice when you go into the gym and you've got, like I say, you've got the sparkly wallpaper and everything, and everything nice and pristine. But sometimes you want this fucking spit and sawdust.
Yeah, a little bit of claret on the floor and that.
And that's the kind of mindset. You know, and I know that with someone like Mike Tyson, he's an aficionado of the old time boxing.
Yeah.
He likes the history of the game. So if you kind of think about what because even when I was in America, and I remember seeing a clip of Mike Tyson training when I was in Washington, and a clip of him training, doing his neck exercises. So he was doing a thing where he would be on his neck and doing like the wrestling, like a wrestling thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right. So if that's good enough for him,
good enough for you,
then it's good enough for me. So I devised my own thing where I would go into the corner of the ring, put my legs up on the top of the top rope, my feet on the top, and roll on my neck like this, back on the wall. And people used to be like, "You do this in the Peacock," and people would look at me like, "Oh, you must be fucking mad." And I said, "It's kind of like these are crazy guys. I think these are the crazy fighters are crazy people.
We're all mad.
Yeah, they're all
mad. My old trainer told me years ago, Julius, is when every one of you has got a tinge of fucking madness.
Yeah, madness.
Every one of you.
It is. I think you have to be a little bit crazy.
We were sat at the boxing writers' door. I think it was about 1998. And we've sat down next to each other. He was a great old school, proper old school. He's just leant over and he's went, "Look at all these fucking nutters."
But again,
he's right.
Because you think to yourself, why? Sometimes people say, "Oh, I can never box. I can never box," and women go, "Oh, I don't know what I do. Someone sent me in the face," but they go, if their son is fighting in the boxing ring, they're the worst.
Yeah, they can't.
They're like, kill him. That's right. That's right. So you have this innate kind of thing to say, right? Yeah, it's your kind of animal instinct, but we are, and I would prefer to say 99.999% of us, when we're with our families or with our spouses and wives and girlfriends and whatever, it's gentle as hands.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
we're the softest, biggest
that's
people.
Right. And I say to people say, "Oh, like even when I'm working, people say, oh, you look so fucking mean. Why why you look so angry? And I said, but I'm not, I'm just looking at you.
Yeah.
That's so I just, sorry, I had what's wrong with it, but, you know, and they, oh, you look so mean and so. I said, but I'm
I'm a
a nice
lovely
person.
boy.
I'm a nice person. You start what you man. Yeah, I don't eat kids for breakfast or
Yeah, but as
whatever. I
most
mean, yeah,
boxers are.
that's it.
Just
So,
open that door, get behind that
exactly
bang and
that.
see the real one.
Exactly that. But again, with Tyson, and people misjudge him,
Yeah.
and I know, like, oh, when we fought, you're my opponent, so I don't care about you. The same way you don't care about me, I don't care about you.
So let's start. Let's go to 5 seconds before the first bell.
I'm thinking I'm gonna wouldn't knock him out because I wasn't. People have to understand when I got in the ring. I'm right. So let me go back a little bit. When they announced the fight, at the Mayfair Hotel up in town. So, and people ask me, I've had this question asked so many times. Were you scared? And I tell you when I was scared.
Pardon me.
Twice leading up to the fight. Twice I was scared. When they announced the fight at the Mayfair Hotel, they had I don't know if you ever remember the picture of Tyson. It's a cardboard, well, it's a picture of Tyson. He's in a boxing ring and he's leaning against the ropes and he's just got a black pair of shorts on. I think he's got a pair of gloves on. He's leaning on the ropes.
Yeah.
Right?
I know
So
picture.
the life size cutout of that
Yeah.
at the Mayfair Hotel.
Has he got 1 foot up?
Yeah,
I
similar
know
on
the
that. That's
exact
it. Right.
picture, bro.
So we've had the press conference, blah, 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 they're taking photos of me and whatever. And in a way, I'm kind of having a laugh with this thing because they kind of know my story. They know about Julius. You know, but over the years, they kind of, the press and whatever, have watched me come out, the boxing press and whatever. So I'm in the press conference, and I think there's a picture of me. You might find it in there. I'm looking really good. I am,
Yeah.
man. So I'm thinking to myself, right now. Every time I do something, they're gonna take photos. So I'm moving my hands. So that's what's going on in my head.
Right.
So anyway, at the press conference, say some of them wherever they're asking questions, whoever they're speaking to, come down, take photographs. Someone says, "Oh, Julius, come stand next to the cardboard cutout of Tyson." My heart went on that. Boom, fucking hell, like literally. I went, fucking hell, I actually find my license. And I'm standing next to the cardboard cutout. I mean, fucking hell.
So how long is this from when
So
Frank Maloney came to your door and said you could have an opportunity to fight him?
I think it was November. So I think it might have been before my daughter was born or just after my daughter was born. So it might have been early December. But I think, hold on, I think they announced the fight and then the Sports Personality of the Year award was on that year. So they'd announced the fight the week before that program came,
Yeah.
or before the week before the Sports Personality of the
Yeah.
Year award. Right. So leading up to that, Frank had asked if I could get a seat on the show, right? Because Harley was
Presenting.
no, Harley was guest. He was getting. He actually won Sports Personality of the Century.
Yeah.
Harley. Lennox won Sports Personality of the Year. Harley Sports Personality of the Century. So the week before, Frank
So
says,
this was in 2000.
no, 99.
99.
Yeah. I think it was December 99 when that program was on. Right? So because the fight was January 2000. The fight was actually January 2000.
No, I was just getting mixed up with dates there. Spotty
Yeah.
gave him the Sportsman of the Century.
Yes,
You're
in
right.
99.
99. Yes.
Right? So Frank had asked if I could go on the show. They said no. The fight has been announced, and then obviously I've got a seat.
Fine, Frank. I'm sorry about that. We
Frank,
made a
sorry, mate.
mistake.
So yes.
Get Julius down here.
Yes. So literally, I'm basically front row. Right. Harley's kind of like there with the black baggies, and I'm sitting here. I've never been in a room where I've seen people that I've watched as sportsmen. When I've watched as sportsmen, not just in boxing, in the boxing world, but in every sport that I was as a kid. Some people as a kid, David Thompson. I'm sitting in the room, David Thompson's over there, and sitting in the room. We've got Cole Foggy over there, and sitting, like, and I'm going, fucking hell.
It ain't a normal room with Harley over there.
No, but Harley hasn't even come in yet. Harley hasn't come in the room yet.
Yeah, they've got to time his medication.
So, you've got the likes of David Beckham and the Manchester United team, and they just won the Prem. All these Eubanks is there, Chris Eubanks Senior's there, Nigel Benn is over there, and I'm just looking around. I can't imagine and tell you how, who else? What's his name at the time? He was the world's fastest man.
Nigel Mansell.
Oh, Mansell was in there.
The other fella.
No. He was a sprinter anyway. He was a sprinter. Christie was in there. Harold Christie was in there. But he was the American. I can't remember the American. I've got a photograph of him.
Michael Johnson.
No, I can't remember seeing Michael Johnson. But Holyfield was there. Who else? Oh God, there was just what's his name?
Baller celebrity.
It was just you name it, they was there.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm sitting in this room with all these giants. As far as I'm concerned, they're giants of every sport that I've ever watched as a kid and that I'm involved in. Alex Ferguson. I got pictures of Alex Ferguson. And then, so you can imagine the atmosphere in that room is electric.
Yeah.
Then they went to present, and Ali comes on, and he just goes off the hat. It's absolutely off the charts. So for me, and I was desperate. When I say I was desperate to get a photograph of Ali, so he's been presented with the trophies, and Lennox. So it's Lennox and Ali, and who's the racing commentator? The racing commentator. No,
Sterling.
No, Harry Carpenter. Sorry, it's Harry Carpenter.
Harry?
It's Harry. Yeah, was it Harry Carpenter with the glasses? Is it Harry Carpenter
for the Formula One?
No. Sorry, the boxing.
Reg Guttridge.
Was it Reg? It was either Reg or Harry. One of them wore glasses.
Reg.
Was that Reg Guttridge? Yeah. Right. So Reg Guttridge was there. So I think it was Reg Guttridge, Lennox, and Ali. I'm taking a photograph, and I'm like, honestly, when I say I photobombed, right? No, it is one of those moments.
In this fucking picture.
Yes, it was one of those moments, and I don't know. You know what? I'm just desperate. I was desperate because obviously I know Lennox. But this is Muhammad Ali.
Different.
This is Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
So I literally did a photobombed, right? So and my girlfriend, she actually takes the photograph, and then Ali, he stops all the photographers taking photographs and calls her forward to take the photograph. So she can get a photograph of me, Lennox, and Ali together. And it was one of those moments where you just think, did this really happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, see, Ali's he was a ladies' man anyway.
Yeah.
And after that, he just takes hold of her hand, and for the rest of the night, he, even though Ali's wife is there, but she is on his arm.
Yeah.
Right, my girlfriend's on his arm. And then a couple of times after that, when he came back to London, we met again. Again, she's on his arm. Right, he don't let her go. And she has the photographs and everything like this. But it's it was, for me, I couldn't have asked for anything more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't have asked for anything more. And then, so I had that experience. And then we park up, get out, and the guys going, yeah, we're going to just go and have a stretch our legs and whatever. I don't know where I am. We walked round the corner, and apparently Tyson was up in the hotel room, and he's calling out, and he's over the crowd, this and the other. But we walked round the corner into that crowd. Not, like I say, I don't know where the fuck I am. I don't know. I just see a sea of people. And then all of a sudden, someone goes, it's Julius Francis! And yes, I've got one of my guys who is another close friend of mine, Smooth. He was one of my bodyguards. So, the guy, Julius Francis. And it just goes pandemonium. Everybody's like wants to touch you and tell you where my hat goes. Yeah, it's like man. And then we see a police van, right? So my guys kind of get round me, and we get to this police van. So I stand on the back of the like, and obviously it's not scripted. So I stand on the back of the police van on the step. There's a crush. So one of my guys get on top of the van, so they just shove me up. So I'm actually get on top of the police van, and I'm standing on top of the police van. I
remember these pictures.
Right. I never knew that Tyson was up in the window, and I never knew anything about these. But I just knew that all these people are here. I didn't know Tyson was.
So he's probably up there thinking you're baiting him.
Yes, exactly that.
Wow.
I never knew anything about this, right? So. And it was really, that was the only other time I was scared.
It's a media dream, though.
Yes. But I never knew about this. I knew nothing about this. So, but yeah, it's just those strange things that happened. So Tyson's up in the window, sees me, I'm in the van, so they have to, literally, I'm on top of the van, and on top of this police van, and they have to drive me out
through the crowd.
Yeah. And get me away. And I don't even know, because obviously I've never been to Manchester before. So I don't even know. And then we drove to the police station and then sorted out and then back to the hotel. You know what I mean? It was mad. It was absolutely crazy, absolute fucking pandemonium. But these are the things that you go, hell, did that really happen?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What the fuck's going on?
So yeah, it was crazy. It was really crazy.
So 5 seconds before that first bell, how'd you feel?
I didn't give a fuck about him.
Your adrenaline's took over then,
Yeah, and people like I know when you look at the fight, and I come out and it's a thing I always did. And I always would stretch.
You draw,
and the neck and whatever. So and some people say, "Oh look, he's screaming, he's shouting and whatever." No, I was
stretching your jaw.
I always did. And then the thing was, when we was in camp, he was like Mark said, right, we're going to try and box Tyson. The boxing, try and stay behind the jab, because when he fought
Douglas.
the Buster Douglas, but when he fought Bofa, and we're looking at that fight, when he fought Bofa kept him away
with a
good jab.
Yeah.
And I know I had a good jab.
Yeah.
But the thing with Tyson he doesn't play to your game.
He plays his own game.
So he comes out, so they go, right now. So one thing we did work on when we was in camp, Tyson would come straight towards you, step left, step right, and throw a punch.
Yeah.
Right? So what does he do? Come straight at me, step left, step right, wham! So in my head, I'm going, who the fuck, and this is what literally I'm saying in my head, who the fuck do you think you're punching? Who the fuck do you think you're hitting?
Yeah.
So I get into it, that's when I go into fight mode. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck are you? And that's what's going through my head. Who the fuck are you? I don't care. You might be Mike Tyson, but I'm Julius Francis.
Yeah, you're coming to my man.
Yes, and that's how I felt. And honestly, another thing that happened, and I was a bit pissed off when it happened, but I understood. Then after I got to the MMA, I understood why. So the afternoon before the fight, in the morning, I went and got my hair cut, beard shaved and whatever, chilled out, went back to my hotel, my hotel room, and all I wanted to do just relax and chill out.
Yeah.
That's what I usually did. Watching a bit of TV. So Frank comes knocking on the door. Julius, get ready, put your shoes on, blah blah blah. You're going to
Medium.
no, you're going to Old Trafford. Fuck, what am I going? We're going to a football game. Oh, fuck, am I going to a football game for?
It was Mike
Frank,
with the Man United team.
no. Frank, I don't want to go. Yes. Right, insistent. Oh, for fuck's sake. So anyway, we go to Old Trafford now. I think they were playing Newcastle. I think it was, if I remember right, they was playing Newcastle. So anyway, I'm up in the box. You've got one of the, I think it's Bobby Charlton is up there, and some other dignitaries, but like I'm up there in that kind of row and whatever. And then they go half time, because it was just before half time really. So half time they go, right, Julius, you're going down at half time, you're gonna do, and I didn't even really clock what he said to me. So what they do, he said, right, so I'm going out onto the pitch now.
Oh, mate.
So I've got trainers on. It's already wet. It's been a damp day.
Yeah.
Right? It's been raining. This pitch is a bit slippery. So I'm standing on the steps right now. And they go, right now, blah, blah, blah. So they've introduced me to the crowd. And as I step my foot over the line, you just hear this roar. And I'm running towards, I'm just having just a slow jog. And I'm saying in my head, please don't slip over, please don't slip over. Go. Get a call in like 2 minutes. 2 minutes, I'm 2 minutes on the door. One of my guys called me, oh, Julius, there's a situation. Can you come to one of the food? No.
So were you managing that night?
I'm managing there, yeah. So tell a lie. So this is what happened. I'll come back to the door. One of my guys came to me and said, oh, there's a guy in there who's got a bottle of drink. I said, all right, can you just I'll go and have a quick word with him, take the bottle, tell him he can collect it, put it in the cloak when he can collect it when he's leaving.
Yeah.
Because we don't allow glass in the venue. That's all it is. We don't allow glass in the venue. And especially if you've got your own alcohol. All right? So 2 minutes later, I get a call on the radio. Julius, can you come to outside one of the food vendors? As I get there, see a group of guys. One of the guys is a known boxer. I won't say his name, but he's known to me. Right? We're not. I wouldn't say we're friends, but we're acquaintances.
Yeah.
So I know him. He goes, "Oh, Julius, come." So I told him, let me just deal with the situation. Oh, he's my mate, blah blah blah. I said, all right, cool. So then my guy, one of my security, tells me the situation. The guy don't want to hand over the bottle. He's been rude and aggressive. He's actually assaulted one of my staff.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Right? So I say, all right, cool. They have to leave. Right, guys, you have to leave. That same fella has now, as I'm talking to one person, he's darted off upstairs.
This is the guy you knew?
The guy, no, the guy
with the bottle.
Yes, the guy
right,
who eventually.
Okay.
Right, so I've gone upstairs, follow him upstairs. Apparently he's gone into one of the toilets. I've moved in the toilets, can't see nothing. Can't see anything. I called my manager. As my manager's come to meet me, the guy's come out of one of the cubicles. I've gone, sorry, boss, hold on 1 second. I weren't aggressive, weren't rude or nothing. And then he just blew up.
Yeah,
He just kind of
beard up.
And then it was kind of like a case of, we went from that to jumping on tables, knocking people's food and drink over. It was just a chaotic thing. And so eventually we got downstairs, get the group outside, and then it's that scene what people see, that 2 minutes.
Not the build up.
No.
It's just that.
That what they see. And I do say, look, I always say to people, look, just because you can do something doesn't mean you have to do it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I would say my actions were I'm very much a protector.
Yeah.
In my
Yourself and your
yes,
other staff.
and my colleagues,
Yeah.
and I'm very much when I'm working, the guys I work with, even though some of the guys are bigger than me, and I've got guys that are wrestlers, got guys that are fighters, got guys but I'm in charge.
Yeah.
So the person in charge is the person you have to deal with.
That's
So
right.
if there's aggression, so I'm the first in line. Yeah, deal with me first, then you're going to deal with my staff.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where I see my role as well. And then it was just okay. He blew up over a very, and I would have preferred, and I was hoping that he would just take yourself and your group of guys and just go. Yeah, just go, just do him, But
Drink
it
and
was
drugs.
it's unfortunate, and the thing is, the crazy thing is, the guy's actually reached out to. Well, he's actually reached out to um, a couple of people that I know
Since
since the incident. Because he wanted to apologise, and I said, "Look, I'm fine with that. I am fine with that because you got to understand, it's nothing personal to you. It's just the way the situation was, and what um, the altercation or the how I stopped the altercation. Because imagine if I didn't do that,
what it could have blew up.
what it could have blown up to be. Because I know a couple of the guys were fighters.
He's already got a bottle in his pocket.
He's a fighter himself, or purporting to be a fighter. And I'm so again, and I say to people, look, at the end of the day, believe it or not, guys, I'm really 60 years old. I don't go out when me and my guys come to work to do our jobs and then go home to our family.
Yes,
that's right. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Earn a bit of money and go home to our kids and family.
Yeah. Normal.
So, and it worked out. It kind of went like, and people came up to me and still to this day, yes, I'm glad. And Julius, do you understand how people see this thing to say you never know who you're going to meet on the doors or in a nightclub or just walking on the road?
Yeah.
And I say the same thing. Yeah, you never know because the guy saying one guy might know me and say, "Oh, you know who that is," and this guy's going, "I'm not giving a fuck about it."
Yeah.
Okay, but
yeah.
At the end of the day, look, I might have put on some weight, and I'm not the same as what I did.
Don't lose the power, though, Joe.
Oh, it's knowledge. It's the knowledge. And like I say, I wish it never happened.
Yeah.
Because I would have preferred to still be that person that people go, oh, "Do you know who that is?" Instead of, yes, I've seen that guy.
Yeah.
Please, what? Because it's
Okay, well, if the scenario, would you have done it any different?
No, because
I don't think it could have been done any differently.
It couldn't go any different.
Yeah,
couldn't go in a different way because of the way that he had to. Yeah. It couldn't go any different. And as I say, the SIA they took obviously they take a dim light on any kind of aggression and whatever. But as I said, look,
they tried to take your SIA away.
They didn't. No, they suspended me.
Yeah,
suspended my license, and then I had to do statements, and they reinstated it because obviously the CEO of Box Park, he backed me 100%, which which is much appreciated,
right though.
Yeah, I think I'm not. And they understand me. I'm not this guy that goes out because I actually work with young people and I work with kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and I always tell them, I always tell kids that I work with, violence is the last choice. Very last resort.
Yeah, last choice.
It is the last resort because
and it solves nothing.
Yes. At the end of the day, there's going to be someone who's hurt, injured, or aggrieved.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, and into the way the world works today,
They want
they're going,
payback.
they want, yeah, payback, payback, payback.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna come pay back with their fist.
No.
They want to come back and
With a
stab you.
knife,
Yeah,
with a gun.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, that's really the last resort.
So, how is life now?
Now you know what?
Reffing, doing a bit of
I do a
reffing
little,
for the
yeah, I do a little
boxing.
bit. I'm going up. I'm going up to. I think I'm going up to Redcar next week
Oh, that's a good drive.
to do some meet and greets and um, some talks and stuff.
Oh, lovely.
Take you know, I say show off my belt, show off me belts and stuff, and yeah, it's just that's I enjoy doing that. I'm going over to I'm working with some people um, over in Newham, going to schools and giving talks and stuff like that as well. So doing some mentoring,
Yeah.
and then I'm doing. Hopefully, we're trying to um, get a thing going over in Bangladesh. I was over in Bangladesh in March.
The boxing?
Yeah, boxing stuff. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So I was over there in March. So it was the first time since 1971. I think they had a kind of well-known professional boxer. So I went over there as the first person since Muhammad Ali to Bangladesh as a
Boxing ambassador.
spokesperson. Yeah, spokespersonality and boxing ambassador. Yeah. So
Wow,
again, like I say, so when you go over places like that and you're the the second person, because I'm following and I'm following the footsteps of giants. You know, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. When you go, you're following and your name is mentioned in the same as
Yeah.
Ali. That's then you have to say that's a privilege.
Come on.
So yeah, and so it's a thing I take very seriously,
Because you're
and
giving back.
yes, and
You're
that's the
giving
thing that
back.
I want to. Hopefully, we're going to go over there and do do some classes and courses and academies and stuff like that. That's what I'm looking to do over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, give back and because you can't take knowledge with you, you can only give it
We're a
away.
long time dead.
Yeah,
Give it all back.
yeah, give it. Exactly, that's what I want to do. I want to give it away. You know what I mean? So. And if I can, because when I was over there, when we was over there in March, there's some talent over there.
Yeah.
There is some
It's all
talent.
coming
And
through
what
now.
the strange thing is, the talent wasn't really with the guys; it was with the girls.
Girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're seeing
They've
that
got
they.
so much more to prove
Yes,
though
that's
from
right.
India.
That's it.
So
That's
much
it.
more
Yeah,
to prove.
yeah. So yeah, and it's a beautiful country. I've just expected a little tiny dot of it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's and the love that I received over there, it was amazing. It was amazing. Bangladesh is a beautiful country.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Julius, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
My guy.
So this has been a
God bless
pleasure.
you, my
You know?
bro.